Durdle magic. Hello and welcome back to Durdle Magic. Today we are playing Mangara the Diplomat. 3 white, 2/4 legendary human cleric, lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those are creatures attacking you or a planeswalker you control, draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. I tested this out once already against, some green decks and it did pretty well, but let's see what it does against new opponents. Looking at our opening hand. 2 lands and not a lot of follow-up, so I think I'm going to get the free mulligan off of here. Alright, so, new hand. 3 lands. Kismet was really good in the last game. Godfrey's statue could be good later. I think we'll keep it just to get the Chancellor of the Annex going. Oh hey, my new cards arrived. Alright, so we have the Chancellor of the Annex. It said, it highlighted, I clicked on it. I don't know if it actually worked. So, okay. We'll see. I have used it once before, and it worked or didn't. I'm not entirely sure. There's not really an indication that it worked. Like, oh, this is, on the stack. There's a, random effect that's going to happen. So I don't know. Command tower for our first opponent who has a companion, Karuga. Cover that in a minute. It's Roon of the Hidden Realm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If you saw a command zone thing about this, we're in trouble. Roon of the Hidden Realm, 2 green, white, blue, 4/4 legendary creature, Rhino Soldier. Now I'm all flustered. Vigilance Trample, 2, tap, exile another target creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So there's a way to permanently exile commanders or something like that. Alright. And then we have Karuga, which will just draw them a bunch of extra cards. We'll cover that in a minute because our next opponent is playing a Morphic Pool, and that is Atris, Oracle of Half-Truths. Interesting card. I have one in my Amanatu. Atris is 2 blue-black for a legendary human advisor, 3/2. Menace. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent looks at the top 3 cards of your library and separates them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. About to roll over to our turn. Hope we get a 4th land going here. I still don't know if that went off. We get the Wanderer. That'll be okay. Let's play the land, tap it, say we're not a threat, and pass it off to our opponents. So Karuga the Macro Sage is 3 Simic for a companion that is a 3/4 legendary dinosaur hippo. Your starting deck contains only cards with converted mana cost 3 or greater and land cards. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. So it's just going to be card draw for them and repeatable card draw at that. So Roon is definitely my first choice to take out of the game. A swamp into play for our last opponent, who is Josu Vess Lich Knight. 2 black for legendary zombie knight. Kicker, 5 in black. You may pay this as additional cost as you cast the spell Menace. If you kick it, you get 8 2/2 black zombie knight creature tokens with Menace. Could go zombie, could go knight, could go both. We'll have to wait and see. But zombies are always a danger. Alright, command tower into play for Atris. The tapping their land, saying they're not going to do anything this turn. That means it's going to roll over to us. Alright. We do not get land. We do get Giver of Runes, though, so that's okay, I guess. Let's go ahead and play another Plains. Let's play the Giver of Runes. We do have Mother of Runes in here as well, because Mangara does need some protection. I didn't, put in, Champion's Helm or any of that stuff. That stuff is quite expensive in paper. And I do like to try to keep the decks, paper budget friendly, but if you've looked at my deck list before, they all run, $300-400, so I guess that's cheap these days. I don't know. Anyway, we'll pass it off to our opponents. I remember when my decks on Tapped Out used to cost $130, $150, and now they're all more than that, and they've just been sitting. So, yeah, it's not the best ever. Alright, we do have a Chancellor triggers. Demonic Tutor will be countered. That works for me. See, the problem is for our opponents too, is they didn't necessarily get a notification either. So I don't know if this card is just super cheap and a pain in the butt to play, if I'm doing something that's taboo, or if they actually got a notification, because I think it does say in the log. Let's go show the log here, all the way up. Let's see, around the Hidden Realm. We choose our commanders. We keep our hands. Yeah, it says we reveal Chancellor of the Annex, but I didn't see us reveal anything. Did you? So that's problematic. I feel for our opponents. I feel kind of scummy. But I'll blame it on the interface. Yep, that's what I'm doing. So as far as our deck goes, Mangara is kind of like a Pill 40 taxi control-ish deck. I kind of went with a bunch of just stuff I wanted to throw in to try and test it out. I tested it out last night, and earlier, like I said, with against some green players. It worked out okay. Barely lost, though the Galta player was producing 5 mana for every land they tapped, and I had already killed the Nyx Bloom Ancient, so that was a lot of mana. I guess I should feel proud it took that much to maybe kill me, but it was pretty good. Mangara sat on the field a long time, though, and I think that's the problem with it, is he's like one of a kind, like Smothering Tithe or Teferi's protection, and you need to protect him, because that's your card draw for most of the game. Just an island into play for the Roon player. We are off to Atris' turn. They play a swamp. Star Compass coming down. Alright, it's a mana rock. Comes into play tap. They can tap it to add 1 mana of any color that a basic land could produce that they control. So it taps for black right now. I just saw a video posted 3 months ago from Mitch and the Professor about the 2 mana rocks. So that one's not the best one ever, but another printing of Arcane Signet for everyone in paper would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure. Alright, we got our 4th Plains, yay. Nothing to play at 3. Although I think at this point, I definitely want to get down Kismet first and then our commander. And that way we will be able to do some stuff. And I usually don't want to play it. Mangara is a card where you want to play it later, when people will be attacking or casting their second spell in a turn. So that's something. So I think at this point, we can swing with the Giver of Runes. I think I want to swing it into Roon just to get that 1 damage down, because Roon can gain a lot of life. So let's get in there for 1 and slowly work on it. And we'll pass the turn after that. Over to Josu Vess's turn. Swamp into play. I'm also looking forward to getting down the Godfrey statue. Ooh, read the bones for them. Alright. I'm looking forward to getting the statue down, because that will just totally wreck a lot of people, unless Roon gets set up before we can do that. Then it's just going to wreck everyone except Roon, and that is going to create a power imbalance, so we're really going to have to see. So I do want to get that down as fast as possible, and the Chancellor of the Annex, just because it's going to slow people down. And I think that's one of White's strengths, is really evening the playing field. The problem is, people are going to hate you for it, and I think White has that problem of not only does it not have ramp, not only does it not have card draw, which is slowly getting, fixed, hopefully in the right direction here, it's that it has answers to everything, and it can ruin your day. And just, stop you from playing Magic. It's almost like the whole deck is a really slow, tedious counterspell, you know what I'm saying? So I think White's problem isn't that, necessarily that it's a bad color, besides the obvious rampant card draw issues. Ooh, Aura Shards, that's not going to be good. We're going to have to wait on the Kismet, I guess. So Aura Shards for the Roon player. Crud. In either case, it's that it can be, really oppressive if it gets just straight up card draw. And I'll post in my new Durdle Duds content, I think I still have the game with the Avacyn of Hope, where they get a new hand off a wheel and get World Slayer. Stay tuned for that at some point. I mean, World Slayer was in the deck. Would they have drawn it next turn? I don't know. But it essentially ended the game. And White, it's not a terrible color if it can get that ramp in the card draw. You'll see in these coming years, if they keep going in this direction, White will become not the best color ever, obviously, but it'll be good. Talisman of Dominance for Atris. Everything coming down for them. Did they ever play something that we could counter? Hold on, let's read specifically here. First spell of the game, counter it. When it says each opponent when they cast a spell. So, yeah, this should have been countered, and this should have been countered. So I feel a little less scummy now, because it says if you do when each opponent casts their first spell for the game, not when a opponent. Alright, Spellseeker coming down for the Atris player. Nice little tutor on the creature there. I use that in Onto as well. Gets all kinds of things like Winds of Abandon, or Cyclonic Rift, or, Scheming Symmetry, because I actually like to use that one. Ooh. Okay, Atris gets Curse of the Swine, so between the Aura Shards and the Curse of the Swine, our deck is kind of... We're gonna have to play uber careful. Very slow. Curse of the Swine, in case you don't know, and it's pretty good removal. X blue blue, exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, their control gets a 2/2 board creature token. Usually the trade-off is totally worth it, plus you can hit more than one thing. It's usually pretty decent removal if you're not, just using Pondify or you need some backup. It also exiles, so that does get around indestructible. We get a Plains. That works out, but I don't want to play anything into that Curse of the Swine. We could play our commander and leave up Giver of Runes to protect blue. And I think that's what we're going to do, because I do want to start getting the draw engine going. It doesn't look like it's going to go necessarily that quickly, though, so I don't know if I want to risk Mangara. But let's go ahead, play a Plains. So the trouble is, if we play Kismet now, the ETB trigger for Orchard still happens. So I don't want to do that. I want to wait till I get some enchantment removal, which there is a bunch in the deck. Although last game I didn't draw but 2. And Curse of the Swine, I really just don't know. I guess we'll play Mangara. The deck's been treating me okay on lands, so let's go ahead and cast our commander. Maybe eke out an extra card here and there for now, and pass it off to our opponents, and wait for the inevitable. I think Atris and Roon are going to go at each other here in a minute. It looks like they're preparing for each other more than preparing for us. Also of note, I run every white counter spell, yeah, you heard me, in this deck that I could remember, and even though they suck, they might come in handy. I just kind of wanted to use them. I also have Warping Whale. It does counter sorceries, and we do have some colorless sources in our mana base. I haven't been able to use one just yet, although my favorite among them is probably Dawn Charm, just because it can also save our commander, and if somebody attacks us with everything, we get to draw a card with Mangara, and we get to, you know, fog all the damage. So it does save us for 1 turn. So by far my favorite of the bunch. Vess's turn, so far only a swamp. Oh, there's some mana tapping. Cover of Darkness. Choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type have fear. I imagine it's going to be zombies and not core clerics. Yep, that's a zombie. Alright, so we can't block any of that. That will be difficult. Roon cannot. Atris would be able to block a few things, but zombies tend to get wide and large. Brago, King Eternal. That's not going to be good for us either. Rune decks. How I don't like facing against you. My friend has a really good rune deck as well. Man, Blink decks can just really outvalue stuff. I just never like to use Rune because it's just, I don't know. Bant just gives me like this weird feeling. Alright, zombie enchantment down. Their creatures will not have fear. That was probably the best choice on the board. I mean, the Maroks aren't doing anything to him. That, however, might end up killing them in conjunction with zombies. Atris coming down. Let's see who they pick. I'd be happy to have them help deal with Roon, even if it meant hurting us a little bit in the beginning. Alright, they're going to pick the Josu Vess player. That seems pretty legitimate. That would be my second choice. Obviously, I'm biased towards us. But Josu Vess just got, you know, their enchantment blown up. So, let them help out and kick Roon's butt, maybe. The other problem we're facing right now is probably only we, other than Roon, have the enchantment removal. Unless blue is running, was it Reality Acid for some random reason? Go look that card up. That's an oldie but a goodie. Especially if you can manipulate the counters. Other than that, there's what, those black, like, quasi-edicts now. There's like 2 of them where they get to choose. Now, if Atris dropped one, then that's the only enchantment, so that would work. But I doubt they have it in the deck. They're just not terribly good, although I run them for the lulz occasionally. Alright, so they picked the 2 cards that were face down. Are they going to cast something? They are. Mirror Mockery. We get to draw a card. Cool. Enchant creature. Whenever it attacks, you may create a token that's a copy of that creature. Exile that token and end the combat. Ooh, that'd be pretty good in Akeem. I wish I had known about it beforehand. Alright, so they're going to get a Spellseeker. Their Spellseeker, rather, enchanted with Mirror Mockery, which means they get to keep tutoring things. We get Thalia, Heretic Cathar, so I'm fine with that. Spellseeker into the defenseless Josu Vess player. Mostly for the trigger, I wager, and so their creature doesn't die. Yep, there's the token. They'll go get to tutor something else out of their deck. Luckily, they have to reveal it, so let's wait and see what it is. They get Negate. Okay, so... Oh, that's that's some interesting art. I haven't seen that before. So, yeah, we're free to cast our creatures still. That's still the safest bet we have on board. Now, I do want to get to the Chancellor of the Annex, although I'll probably get nuked at some point otherwise. Black's going to have the most creature removal out of any of this, although we still have to worry about that Curse of the Swine. Mirror Mockery triggers at the end of combat. Goodbye to the Spellseeker token. And we get Return to Dust. Yes, thank the gods. I was going to say, we have so much of this removal in here. At least 5 sources I'm aware of. I think it's actually 7. And I was hoping we draw one soon. So it looks like we're getting rid of Mirror Mockery. We don't need them tearing a bunch of stuff out, and Aura Shards, obviously. So let's go ahead and do the things. Mirror Mockery, Aura Shards, go away. As far as attacks go, I guess we could attack into Atris and see if they want their commander to die. So let's go ahead and do that. I doubt it, and our commander's only 2. I mean, it's not going to win through commander damage unless I get, what, a random Blackblade Reforged, which I guess is something you could do in here. Alright, damage is good. Let's pass off to our opponents. We do gain a nice little 2 life there. They're playing a Gilded Lotus. I did think about putting that in here. I don't remember if I did. We do seem to draw enough lands so far, so we'll have to wait and see. Although, what's happening now? Okay. Plague Belcher. There's about to put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. Okay, that's fine. I thought it was the one. I thought it was Skin Render is the one I was thinking of. We do get Luminous Broadmoth, so that'll be good. That can save our butt. Although it gets complicated with the Angels because it doesn't save any of the Angels. All right, so Plague Belcher. Let's cover that. 2 black. It's a 5/4 base. It's a 3/2 currently because they had to put the counters on it. Menace. Whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So yeah, it's pretty good. A little rare from Amonkhet. I don't think I got one of those, actually. I'll have to go check, you know, in my box of actual physical cards. Cloud Blazer. That standard fare in the Roon deck. When enters the battlefield, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards. That's the other thing I don't technically like about Roon. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff, and it usually wins the same way, which is fine. But I like my decks to have a little bit of a branching path in strategy. Mangara here, I did want to try him out, so I got it. I don't know that wins differently yet. I don't know if like I'd go and build this in real life or not, but we're testing it. We'll see. I do have, you know, more cards in paper than online, so maybe I'll find something interesting otherwise. Brago into us. Yeah, I don't care much. We'll take the 2. They're just going to blink their stuff anyway. They'll have blockers up all the time. They will get 2 more life and draw 2 cards. I think we should just wait on them to become the Arc Enemy. The problem is waiting might take too long for everyone else to start ganging up on them, especially if they don't have immediate power like Roon can have. So, might not be the best. We do have Winds of Abandon next turn, assuming we draw a land. So, that's good. There's the trigger. So, Brago will come back into play. It'll be untapped for blocking, and they'll get the 2 cards and the 2 life. Alright, we're at the cleanup step. Roon will have to discard 1 card. Now, they did play land. I'm thinking that playing Kismet instead of Godfrey's Statue will be better, because whenever their deck goes to blink something, if Brago blinks everything, they will be utterly defenseless as long as they tap their elements to play stuff. And I think our opponents getting in there to deal damage to Roon would be better if we played Godfrey's Statue and, you know, shut everyone off if Roon's already ahead. So I think next turn Kismet, and then we wait on the Winds of Abandon. And then probably Thalia to follow up on that in case Kismet goes down, because they both do creatures. So that'll be fine. And Josu Vess, I don't want to get out of control. They're already at the 8 mana. They only need, like, what, 2 more? And playing Thalia, rather, will neuter the other 2 players against them. Ooh, Thassa Deep Dwelling, a blinker one. I also have that in my Amanatu. This Atris deck is like my non-white Anamatu deck already. Alright, Atris coming to us. We'll just take the 3. I want to leave up the Giver of Runes to protect from that Curse of the Swine. So, yep. Happily take it. Whack to the face. Alright, straight to the end step. They're going to blink. Yep, their commander. I wonder if they'll pick us. Although I doubt it. They'll probably pick the Josu Vess player, is what I'm wagering. Oh, they're actually picking the Roon player. Ooh, revealed as the Scarab God. Well, okay, I didn't see that coming, and that is something I do not have in my Amanatu deck. They get rid of the Scarab God. They took the 2. Usually, I think the conversation revolved around taking the 2 no matter what, because you're just getting an extra card out of it. I don't know, though. Scarab God could have been good. Comes our turn. We get the Mad Compass. That's not terrible. Especially we can flip it immediately, but we did not get a land, which is the problem. I don't remember anyone else getting enchantment removal, although I don't know what's in Atris' hand, and they probably don't have it. Roon's drawing a bunch of stuff. And they probably won't like Kismet very much. But I don't know what to do otherwise. We could ramp with the Thematic Compass real quick and do that instead. So I think that is what we're going to do, and wait and see what they're going to be blinking maybe. I'm really hoping our opponents start getting on Roon a bit here, but I don't know that they're going to be able. Thematic Compass into play. I think let's just go ahead and play Thalia then, and then that way we get the tap down effect, but it's harder to destroy as far as enchantment removal goes. I mean, the black players can kill it, There's definitely Curse of the Swine, but then we have Kismet as backup, and Kismet is just better. So let's do that instead, and pass the turnover. I don't think attacking anything right now is going to be like terribly beneficial at all. Actually, you know what? Changed my mind. Going to attack into the zombie player, see if they want to trade with the Plague Belcher. Damage is good. Let's go ahead and pass it on over. We do have First Strike on Thalia too, so that might be something that's relevant in the future. So yeah, I think Mangara can actually go a few different ways, which is something I like about it. You can go combat oriented with some protection and removal. It can go taxing, pull fort, stacks even if you want. I don't look forward to seeing those across the table. But this is kind of just like a mismatch of stuff. Not too much on the combat, although there are some combat relevant abilities, mostly angels that fly. The Immortal Sun. We have one of those in here actually. Do recommend you get one, although they are really expensive. In case, for some reason, you don't know, it's a legendary artifact. Thalia's Lancers can get it. The Immortal Sun 6. Players can activate abilities of Planeswalkers. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card. Spells you cast whilst one less cast, and creatures you control get 1/1. We're not swinging at them anymore. Rune's turn. We have Temple. Wow, Terramorphic Expanse coming down tapped. Yay, Thalia. Bane of Progress. That's going to do some damage. I am really sad that the Mana Compass is going the bye-bye, unfortunately. And there goes the Mana Compass. That's why I didn't want to play Kismet as well, although I was hoping to get one turn with the Compass, get some lands out. The deck usually was okay with the lands, now we're not getting so many. So I don't know. I have a feeling that like newer decks, they just, via the algorithm, don't get shuffled up enough. But that's just my feeling. I actually have no idea. Alright, both flyers coming into us. That's unfortunate. We still need... I guess we could play Luminous Broadmoth next turn. And... block. Maybe get them to go somewhere else. We do get a card out of it because 2 or more creatures attacked us. Our face, it gains knowledge while being punched. Austere Command, you don't say. Alright, we take 4 Brago triggers. Alright, 2 life and 2 cards to them. I think we'll just swing at them and like deal as much damage as possible next turn. No, we probably need to save up the Giver of Runes rather. They said they would go and play Roon except for the Immortal Sun. So let's see. Players can't activate Planeswalkers. Yeah, so I guess that it forced their hand to play the Bane of Progress. Myriad Landscape coming down. There's the battlefield tapped anyway. I actually didn't have this in my collection. I started building all these mono-colored decks for the core set, and I was like, oh. Also, it's kind of expensive online. It's like, I got mine for just under $5. Jeez. So Myriad Landscape was activated. I'm sorry. I thought somebody was playing it. And they went and got some lands. Sword of Feast and Famine. Well, okay. Equipping to Atris. Pro green, pro black. So we don't necessarily have to worry about it, except it is a 5/4 general now. That is somewhat problematic. They also get to untap their lands, which is also problematic. This is a card I'm not terribly worried about just now, but yeah, you never know. Atris into the Roon player. I can live with that. Finally, some smacketh downeth. Alright. Damage. Triggers. Curse of the Swine. Yay, we get to draw a card. Also, let's see what they're targeting. Everything except the zombie player? Yeah, that's a sad face. So, also the Giver of Runes, but at this point we have to probably protect Mangara, and then we can just do Kismet or something afterward, I think. We will get board tokens, so that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and protect our Mangara. Telling you, Curse of the Swine, it's an overlooked card, I feel. Hey, we finally get a land. Nice. End of turn, Thassa trigger, targeting Atris, so it will become unequipped. But they will get to essentially draw 2 cards. Oh, they pick us. I guess they're just going around the table. Okie doke. Alright, let's see. God Eternal Kefnet, that's a pain in the butt. So yeah. But they do have Counter Squall. No mana though, so let's go ahead and put God Eternal Kefnet up top. Let's see, top pile will be presented face up. Yeah, that's what we want. And give them the land and the Counter Squall. See if they take the God Eternal Kefnet. Yep, they took the God Eternal. That must be integral to their plan. That's fine. We have Winds of Abandon. We get Tithe. There, I also put in like all the white ramp I could find too. It's just a funny deck. Okay, so let's see. Search your library for a Plains card. If a target opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for an additional Plains card. Reveal those cards, put them in your hand, then shuffle your library. So we have 6. They have 6. They have... Atris has a bunch, so that's fine. Last time I tried to play one of these things, it didn't do it. Like, it didn't let me target anybody. Although I might have miscounted. Alright, I want to play... Let's play Kismet and the Tithe. And then just wait and see what things happen. We can always Winds of Abandon like next turn if things get too out of control, I suppose. Kismet, let's do it. And then let's play the Tithe. Alright, so it's on the stack. It says target opponent. I guess I don't get to target anyone? I'm very confused. Alright, so we have Idyllic Range and Plains. I thought I had another non-basic Plains, but let's get that one. Let's get the Plains. Alright, and we did play the Plains for turn, so let's just go to combat here. And we'll swing a piggy over at Atris's hovel over there. See if they want to block for any reason. I doubt that they do. Damage is good. I didn't expect to block. So, just to note, everyone, we have 8 cards in hand. We'll have to discard in mono white. Oh my god. Alright, let's discard the Plains. I want to keep my options open. I do want the mana, but we do have Idyllic Range here, and it does come into play on tap because we have all the other Plains. And I don't think... the draw is still pretty good, so we'll keep going. Ileana's Mastery. Zombies you control get 1/1. When enters the battlefield, create 2 zombies that are 2/2. Okay. Not terrible. So there's a lot of bacon and a lot of dead things at 2/2. Alright, rolls over the Roon's turn. I just want to note, they discard Rhystic Study, Progenitor Mimic, and Sad Robot. What did they keep? Has me a little worried. Knight of Autumn. A good card. I don't think it ever gets used for the counters of the life gain, though. Let's see where they send it. I'm hoping the Sword. No, they're hitting Kismet. Alright. Sad face. Elvish Rejuvenator. So they look at the top cards and get a land into play tapped, right? Yep. All that blinking, all the value. We get Mana Tithe. That's actually kind of relevant, actually. White counterspell. It's for spike, but white. Is it good? No. Am I playing it? Yes. Terramorphic Expanse getting cracked by the Roon player. Nobody likes our tap down effects. This is what I'm talking about. Just taking a look at the chat. They really don't like it. So apparently we have 2 blink decks, more or less. And they really don't like my enchantments, so... mono white. Arc Enemy, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Also, according to them, apparently I am playing stacks. I don't know what kind of stacks they usually play against, but I've played against stacks. I didn't get to play anything, so... I'm playing fluffy, huggable stacks, I suppose. Sword Feast and Famine getting equipped to Atris. The Scarab God. Can't even counter it because they have untapped mana. That's the sad part. They also have Kefnet, which is worrisome. So we're going to have to also just wait on our removal, basically. Atris coming into us. I'm still feeling like we're not the threat, but I guess the Blink players think we are. That's unfortunate for us. Politics and diplomacy not working, I suppose. Yeah, we're not blocking that. We still want card draw for now. I'm thinking next turn, attempt to cast Godfrey statue or Winds of Abandon. We know that Atris has Negate in hand, and if they go to cast it, we could potentially Mana Tithe if, and only if, they cast something else in their second main. And that's the problem here. They're going to have all kinds of untapped lands, and I think we're just kind of not doing so well at the moment against them. I think at this point we can get rid of Austere Command. We do have other enchantment removal, and it's hard to play around with our tokens and Mangara. Plus the gods just come back, so I'd rather have the Exile from Winds of Abandon. And to turn trigger, let's see where they do with it. That also means they didn't tap any of their lands to cast anything else, which means problematic negates all around. Atris coming back into play. Let's see who they choose. Probably not us, but we'll see. Roon player. So instead of Roon and Atris going after each other like I had hoped and thought I was seeing initially, it seems like they're kind of teaming up against us and our stacks pieces. That's unfortunate. I didn't think I was doing such a terrible thing. It was just the one tap. It's not like they wouldn't have generated value. I don't understand the madness. Toxic Deluge into the revealed part. Let's see what they take. Alright, it looks like they do take the Toxic Deluge. So they have Negate and a Toxic Deluge. I'm kind of not even going to bother with that. So I think we'll just play like, I don't know, some baity thing. That way they'll be like, oh, he has no more mana responses. Wait for the Deluge to come down, maybe. Oh, Grand Abolisher might change some things. We would need one more land. That way if we play Grand Abolisher and for some reason they don't counter it, we can then play Godfrey statue. So let's go ahead and bait out that counterspell with the Chancellor. Seems good. Sure. Mangara gets a little bit bigger. Alright, so actually I'm thinking instead, since the Toxic Deluge is there, we bait with Luminous Broadmoth, and if they decide not to counter it, we're golden and we still keep up the taxing effects, plus the Mana Tithe, plus the Grand Abolisher. That's what I'm thinking, is Luminous Broadmoth. Let's see if they counter it. So they only have the Negate, I guess, because that'll counter a non-creature spell. So that's actually pretty good for us for now. I don't want to risk the Grand Abolsher yet because we do know they have Toxic Deluge. Let's go to the combat step. We will not be swinging anywhere, and we will be passing it off to our opponents. I don't necessarily want to counter their commander, however. So I also don't think they have enough mana. Let's see. 4, and yeah, they don't. Risen Executioner. That's one I haven't seen in a long time. It can't block Zombie Lord, so it gets the 1/1 to the zombies. You can cast it from your graveyard. You pay 1 more, cast it for each other creature card in your graveyard. Okay. So it's like a ward that keeps returning, generally. That's fine. Zombies into Roon. At least the zombie player is still kind of our friend. 2 pigs block the zombies. Bacon goes down. No damage through to the Roon player. There's another Thassa Deep Dwelling into play for the other Blink player. The value. The value is crazy. Crazy. We need to do Winds of Abandon if they don't use Toxic Deluge. But they still have that negate in hand, so it's really, really risky. Rune of the Hidden Realm coming down for that player. We get a card. If it's a land, we can play Grand Abolisher and then the Winds of Abandon next turn. I mean, yeah, they're going to then, you know, yes, I'll play land, thank the gods. So, anyway, yeah, they'll Toxic Deluge, but we do have Luminous Broadmoth, so at least our General and the Grand Abolisher would come back. Scarab God being activated. Let's see, exile a creature from a graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it. Except, it's Sad Robot. He's going to become, I don't know, is that better for him? Does that make him more depressed? I don't know. He'll be a 4/4 black zombie in addition to his other types. Alright, Atris is going to go get a land. Scarab God getting Progenitor Mimic back. Okay, so am I not the threat anymore, please? Another Clone of Solemn Simulacrum. That's going to make our Mana Tithe even worse. And is it good? Again, no. But I'm playing it. I wanted to play every white counterspell I could think of. And it might come in handy. Alright, now we get to the end step trigger on Rune's turn. What will they blink? I'm hoping they finally get rid of the Sword of Feast and Famine. But let's see, is there anything else even? There is the Liliana's Mastery, so that's a thing. Conversely, they could also get rid of the Progenitor Mimic Sad Robot. So they're just going to get a land. Alright, they'll go look at the top 5 cards and get a land from it. I'm also waiting for, I hope Atris plays Kefnet on the next turn, because that way we can get Thassa exiled as well, and I much look forward to that. Alright, we're going to be losing some life, so that's 1, 2. Not bad so far, but it is a repeatable stealing effect. We each take 2. We're at the lowest life total too. I feel like the threat assessment was a little off, but what can I say? I have the bias. I don't want to be the arch enemy. Sword back onto Atris. I imagine it's still coming back into us. Tap another creature. Okay. I wasn't going to block anyway. Revenge of Raven. Whenever a creature attacks you or planeswalker controller loses 1 life, gain 1 life. Okay, there's a one that gives you Monarch that I think is a little bit better, but they're both good. Is it Marchesa's Decree? I don't quite remember. Atris still into us. I guess I am playing a deck of stacks. I don't know. I thought it was kind of on the low end, but I don't know. All right, we're not going to block. We still want Mangara around. I'm really hoping they like play Kefnet, and so we can exile that and Thassa, because that's what, 3 gods in the deck. All right, it triggers. We'll probably just discard the Wanderer. I kind of want everything else more, so that's the choice. Discard the Wanderer. There's Kefnet. Excellent, and we get a card for our trouble. Their Thassa's online. That means it's vulnerable. And to turn Thassa gets the trigger, they'll trigger. They will blink Atris, sorry, and they'll do the thing. Oh, that's going to be real good tech against us. Did they take it? Yeah, they did. So they got Notion Thief, which means we won't get any extra card draw off Mangara. So we're going to have to get some more stuff down. Oh, they're playing it now. Never mind. We'll be fine. You know what? I'm going to wins on you. All right, we got Swiftfoot Boots. We also have Psychosis Crawler, which honestly isn't the best in the deck, but I also wanted to try that too. Let's go ahead and play the Plains and try to do our plan and make sure nothing ends up being the dead. But they probably have removal of some kind. Oh, I can tap for black. Amazing. Play the Grand Abolisher. Comes into play. Let's attempt win. I actually have to sit here and tap all this. This is so annoying with the tomb out. Oh, I hate this. Winds of Abandon Overload. Kefnet gone for a little bit. That's fine. I need everything else gone too. And yeah, I'm going to start laying into people because they've just been very mean to the Diplomat. He's just been sitting there trying to be friendly. You know, geez. I was just thinking, you know, I guess it comes full circle. In the beginning, I said, people don't like mono white because it stops them from playing the game. I suppose that's what's happened to us, is the tap effect stopped them from playing their game. Although they do still get all the value, so as long as they eventually stop blinking and hit us, I still don't see too much of an issue. But it bears repeating. I guess I called it beforehand. Let's go, combat. I'm going to swing Mangara into the Atris player, and the Luminous Broadnoth into the Atris player, and the pigs into the Roon player. Now, we will lose 2 life, but we will gain 3 back, so we do net some life. Damage is good. Let's roll it on over to our opponents. The zombie player hasn't done anything to us, but bad things can happen. Only 1 card in hand for them, though. Noxious Ghoul coming down for the Josu Vess player. Whenever it or another zombie enters the battlefield, all non-zombie creatures get -1/-1 till end of turn. That'll be pretty good. So that essentially makes their commander a board wipe. Opponent saying like, hashtag, Notion Thief did nothing wrong. So I replied with, I want to play Magic too. Prison Reef coming down for the Roon player. So essentially another Coiling Oracle for them. Maybe have another Elemental or 2 in the deck, like, you know, Bane of Progress. So not too bad. Ruin of the Hidden Realm coming back down for that player. We get to draw a card. Yay. The Immortal Sun. Alright. Well, that elicited a destroy response from our opponents before. I wonder if we can do that again. Plus, extra card draw again. Especially since they do still seem to be gunning for Mangara. That's unfortunate for us. Thassid trigger for the Roon player. Theirs was not active when the winds came. Risen Reef getting the blink. Over to Atris' turn. They're tapping all of their mana. So, let's see what they're doing with it. This should be, you know, very, very, very scary. Torment of Hailfire for 19. Well, that looks like it's going to be game. Oh, for reference, I don't run Torment of Hailfire. I own 2 copies of this card. But, it seems like a boring way to win to me. Although you do win. There is that. Josu Vess quits. Alright, so we'll have to repeat this one at a time. I always thought it was kind of like all at the same time. But, alright. The Mana Tithe. I guess we're not using that anymore. The Mana Tithe would have been choice had we had white up. And that's where it would have come in handy. I just didn't, you know, I guess I should have expected Torment of Hailfire between the gods and all the other things. Sad face. Good game to our opponent. Stacks. I guess apparently I'm playing it. But I gotta say, I've played against some soul-crushing stacks, as my friend likes to point out. And it's not even close to the same. But good game to our opponent. We did give him all the lands for that Torment of Hailfire. And that 1 mana from the Mana Tithe would have been amazing. But live and learn. So as far as the deck's concerned, let's go take a look at it. Alright, so for the deck, we do have a lot of like 2 and 3 drops. We weren't getting like too much of the early stuff. We also had Teferi's Protection, which would have been fantastic. Usually I try to keep the cards paper-wise, kind of, you know, more budget. But it's mono white, and you kind of have to go a little bit all out to protect your stuff. So there's stuff like that, you know. So we also, none of our counter spells, maybe Lapse of Certainty would have worked a little bit. Mana Tithe, of course, would have worked. So we do have some ramp, we do have some counter spells. Warping Whale, I think, yeah, Torment's a sorcery, so we could have countered it there, so that would have been good. So we had answers, we just had, you know, the timing was bad. But what can you do? 9 lives I'm testing out in here. I think this is definitely one of those corner cases where you have to have some way to reset it without dying. Because otherwise, so I don't know, yeah. It's a cool card. I just don't know if I'm going to keep it in here. It's like one of those, it's kind of like one of those red extra turn spells where it's like you get 1 extra turn but then you die. It's kind of like that because it's from 9 sources, not all damage for the turn. So, I mean, 9 goblins will kill you if you can't block 9 goblins, you know? So yeah, here's the deck so far. Let me know what you think, if there's any thing you think I can add to the deck to make it better. I guess it's going to be stacks. I mean, you know, what can I do? Mangara's gotta survive, right? So, yep, there it is for you. And again, let me know if you have any ideas for improvements. Thanks for tuning into Durdle Magic. If you like the content you saw here today, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit that like button, and if you could be so kind, please share the video to anyone who you think might be interested. And remember, you can follow our posts at Facebook and at Twitter at DurdleMTG. We also post the video links there, so if that's more of your forum, Durdle around with us and enjoy some magic. Until then, see you around.